What's good, y'all? In today's video, I'm doing a review for GoldLink's new album, Diaspora. Y'all ready? It's lit.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Bright here, the R&B Kid. I'm back again with another review. But if this is your first time on my channel, please go ahead and consider subscribing. On this channel, I take all things music and entertainment while keeping it real. I'm always trying to find the bright side of everything, alright? And after you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell next to it so you can get the post notifications. So every time I upload a video, you won't miss it. Alright, y'all, so like I said, I'm here to do a review for that boy GoldLink's new album, Diaspora. Y'all know I love GoldLink. He's an amazing dude, amazing artist, and I just love, he's one of my favorite like artists of our time period. I think a lot of people just sleep on him and his talent and his flow and his vibe and his creativity. So I love GoldLink. I can't say about GoldLink. He's now back with his second album called Diaspora. He released it on June 12th, 2019 on RCA Records. And this is the follow-up to his debut album, At What Cost, which came out back in 2017. And that has I love that project as well. It has so many good songs in it that I still love to this day. Y'all know the song Crew. That was the single off the album. That was Grammy nominated. I also love Roll Call with Maya, Meditation with Jasmine Sullivan and Kitchenada, We Will Never Die. So many good songs off the album. So he's back with the second album, like I said. And this album has so many features on it as well. It has Ari Penn Smith, Malik Berry, and Bibi Borelli, Khalid, Pusha T, Tyler the Creator, and Jay Prince, Wizkid, and some more art, Western, and some more artists as well. But let me do a track by track breakdown of the album at first, and then I'm gonna do my general review at the end. But let's get into it. Y'all ready? GoldLink, Diaspora. Let's go. Alright, y'all, so the album starts off with a really interesting little interlude called Error, and at first I was like, what the fuck does this mean, error? But then when you open up the album, you hear this man, like, you know, he's breathing heavy, he's running from something. It's not like he's running from like a murder, or he's running away from trying not to get killed by somebody or something like that. That's what it sounds like. So it's really interesting, dark, you know, interlude to start the album off. Really cool concept, and it leads into the song called Joke Ting, so it makes sense. Alright, track 2 is Joke Ting, which is pretty much the track where GoldLink's talking about how, you know, him and his boys were trying to chill out and people trying to get at him, and it's like, listen, don't try me because I've been trying to live my best life, but we don't know Joke Ting, so don't try me. I feel like this is a really cool, like, big anthemic track with a great, like, dragged out hook by Ari Penn Smith, who sounds so good on this track. Just talking about, like, listen, man, don't play with us, we ain't on no Joke Ting. And this song is just so catchy. I love, like, the bouncy, like, side to side groove of this track. It's just a real vibe. And what I like about this track is how it's talking about some real shit. Like, he's talking about, like, gutter, like, don't mess with me, my crew type of stuff. But, like, it's such a chilled out song at the same time. Like, it's so bouncy and bright and vibey. But it's like, don't fuck with me, no. Like, it's such a vibe. It's like, don't play with me. We all know Joke Ting, but, like, you know, we ain't on no Joke Ting, oh no. So yeah, I love the melody of this song. It's so breezy, it's such a groove. I just love what it's talking about. And like I said, Ari Penn Smith sounds so good on this hook, and I love GoldLink's flow in the verses too. So this is a whole vibe for me. I love this track. Alright, after Joke Ting, we had the track Maniac, which was definitely a highlight for me. One of my favorite beats on the album. I love the flow and the vibe of this track. The beat was crazy, like I said, and I just love GoldLink's, like, you know, menacing and fast flow on this joint. I love what he's talking about on this track too. He's pretty much like, better watch your back, I'm a maniac. I'm about to make $1 million for all my children. I love the hook on this joint. The hook is so classic and so timeless, but it's so relevant. Like, I love this. Like, this is the type of track that'll just get you hype, will get you in the mode where you just need to be inspired. You just need to feel good, like you trying to get after something. Like, better watch your back, I'm a maniac. Such a good song. So I like this track. And I love how, like, on the hook he's talking about, like, his kids, like, about to make $1 million for all my children. Like, you don't hear a lot of rappers talking about that type of stuff on the hook. Like, I love that. About to make $1 million for all my children. I love that. So, you know, we need more rappers in that state of mind. Like, you know, on some Jay-Z 444 shit. Like, it's not all about you and yourself. Think about your kids and your lineage and making money for them too. You know what I'm saying? Generational wealth. Amen? So I love this track, definitely my favorite beats on the album. Like I said, I love the vibe of it. Simple classic hook, but it's just effective and it works. And shout out to BB Borelli on the backgrounds toward the end as well. So I love BB on the track, but this is a great track, definitely my favorites. I love Maniac. Alright, next up we got the track Days Like This with Khalid. I was hella excited for this joint. You know, two of my favorites on the track, Khalid and GoldLink on the track together. I was hella excited for it. It's a little bit more low-key and chill than I was expecting, but I'm also not too surprised because you know Khalid always is on a chilled ass R&B joint, so I'm definitely not surprised that this joint is more like, you know, chilled out and somber. But that's Khalid's vibe anyway, so I think he fit well. But this is a cool track. It's not my favorite off the album, but it's definitely a great collaboration. It's a great track. What I love most about this track is the sentiment of it. I love what it's talking about. It's talking about like days like this. You know, I'm trying to vent. You know, I'm going through shit. You know, we all have days like this where we're having a funky bad day, and like what that means for us and people around us. So I feel that. I love what this track was talking about. I really, like I said, even though I think Khalid was great for this track, I kind of wish he didn't. I feel like I think that's not his fault. I think it's maybe something with like the mixing, the mastering. But I feel like he sounded like really thin on the hook. Like just like this. Like he sounds good, but like his voice sounds thin on it. So I wish like they altered his vocals so it didn't sound so thin, but he still was great for the track. So it's definitely a vibe. I feel like to me what brought this song down a little bit was just like somewhat of like the boring production. It wasn't bad, it wasn't a bad beat at all. It was just a little bit boring, but it's still a vibe at the end of the day. So I still rock with this track. And I really like GoldLink's verse was cool. You know, it wasn't one of the best ones on the album, but his verse was cool, just talking to his chick on some sexy shit, so it was cool. But I really liked I think Khalid was the highlight of this track. I really liked also his verses too. I think he sounded really good on his verses as well as the hook. But it's a cool track. I like the way they came together to make this track that was just hella real. So let me know what y'all think about it, but this track was cool. After Days Like This, we got the track Zulu Screams with Malik Berry and BB Borelli. One of my favorite tracks of the album. It's one of the singles right now for the album. Such a great track. I can't say enough about this song. I feel like to me this was an instant gem the first time I heard it, like weeks ago when it came out. And I feel like I just love GoldLink exploring the Afrobeat sound on this track. I just love how like he explored the Afrobeat sound in such a real and organic way, and it didn't sound corny or contrived. It just sounded like he fit right in on this track. And the production and the beat is so fire that you just can't help but to dance and just to vibe to it anytime you hear it. Like every time I hear this song, I could be in the most boring mood and I hear Zulu Screams and I'm like, like shout out to Malik Berry. He sounded great on the track as well. Malik Berry was a perfect fit for this track. He sounded so good on the hook. It sounded like a typical, you know, Afrobeat Nigerian Ghanaian song, but like GoldLink just fit right in. He had some good verses. I love the way he flowed on it. I feel like his like fast ass like kinetic flow was perfect for a track like this that was just so hyping up tempo and so upbeat. He just fit right in. So I love this track. I love like the black excellence and level up vibes that the track gives you as well. It's just talking about like, you know, going places, you know, level up in life, you know, just being, you know, it's just a dope track. So you feel the black excellence when you listen to it. So I love it. I just love the way everyone sounds on this track. The beat was high, everyone sounded good. And shout out to BB Borelli at the end too. I heard you, mama, you sounded good. Yeah, man, this is just a dope track all around. Definitely one of my favorites. I love Zulu Screams. Amazing track. Alright, so after Zulu Screams, we got the track More. To me, this is also my favorite tracks off the album as well. This track is such a vibe. The production is so mesmerizing. It's so lo-fi and so low-key. And it's just calming as hell. The beach is so like, the beat reminds me of like just like a late night on the beach, like somewhere in like Africa or just somewhere in the Caribbean. But I just love this track, y'all. It's such a vibe. And I really, what I love so much about the production in particular is how like it's so calming and so low-key and so lo-fi, but like you also like hear like all like the thunders, drums like very quietly in the background, like so that dynamic is just so good. Like I love production that's like equally like booming but also calming at the same time. So this track has both of those elements and it works beautifully. And I love both of the vocalists on the track as well. Both of the vocalists just really brought this track alive and they just made it amazing. And I also love the smooth flow from GoldLink on his verses. Like his flow was just so smooth on this one, so slinky, and it just worked well. He pretty much just talking about like, you know, like his girl being good enough for him, even, you know, with them growing up with each other and them going through the struggle together. Like he's like, listen, you good enough for me, like, you know, let's just go through our struggles together, but we gonna stand it together. So this track is like a really awesome song dedicated to, I feel like, love and just like sticking through with the person you love through thick and thin. This could be a cool little like, you know, African Caribbean wedding song, you know, if you're, you know, for future generations. But it has a cool, like, you know, a cool slinky groovy beat that just feels so good. I love this track. I can't say enough about it. I love the vibe of this track. It's probably one of my favorite tracks off the album. I love the way it sounds. So it's definitely a great track for me. I love it. After the track More, we got the track Coke White / Moscow with Pusha T. And I feel like this is a great transition because, and like I said, in More, he's talking about how his girl, you know, should stick with him through thick and thin, and they're gonna be great together and come up in the struggle together. And then, you know, we're talking about, you know, drug game business and all types, you know, gang shit and Coke White and Moscow. And of course, Mr. Pusha T himself had to be a part of it, you know. Mr. Pusha T himself had to be part of this track, as he is that guy as always. But yeah, man, this track was great. I loved how I love the line in because Pusha T was mainly in the first part of the song, Coke White, where he was talking about. I love that last line where Pusha T was like, "I mix it mad. It's a perfect combination, like when Pusha and GoldLink." I just love that track. So Pusha T had a great verse. He always kills with the bars as always. And then we transitioned into the second part of the track, Moscow. It was really smooth transition into that next part of the song. And Moscow has a sick ass beat, and it was a smooth beat change. And I just love what GoldLink did on that track with the flow. It was really sick flow at the beginning of the track, especially. But he had crazy bars and crazy energy throughout it, so it was really dope. And I just love like the crazy hype beat. It really matched GoldLink's like really dope fast flow. So this was definitely a cool track for what it was. Definitely a good track. Alright, after the track Coke White Moscow, we got the track You Say with Tyler Creator and Jay Prince. I love this track. It's definitely one of my favorite tracks off the album. To me, it was an instant highlight when I heard it. I think it came out just a few days before the album came out, and I loved it when I first heard it. To me, this track just is such a smooth vibe, and it just takes you to like the African countryside, like on a beautiful, like, you know, sunny, breezy day. It just takes you to like an African countryside, and I feel like the production gives you that vibe. The simple, calming synth, like, you know, the dun, 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 with the smooth ass bass and the African drums, like all that combined is just such a vibe. And I feel like I said, it just makes me feel like I'm chilling in a Nigerian village somewhere on a really sunny, beautiful, breezy day. So like in the spring. So great track. My only issue with this track was Jay Prince a little bit. He didn't sound bad on the hook, but I just feel like someone else could have made the hook come more alive. You know, you said wanna, it felt a little bit dry with Jay Prince's vocals. I feel like someone else could have made this hook come more alive. You could have had a lot of options, but for some reason the one name I kept thinking about was The Weeknd. I don't know why, but I just feel like in a higher register, I feel like The Weeknd would have sounded great on this track on the hook. I don't know, that's just me. Y'all let me know if you think I'm bugging, but I feel like The Weeknd would have been great for this track if he did it in a higher register. But Jay Prince wasn't bad, but I just feel like someone else could have made it more brighter. But I love the sentiment of this track. I just love what it's talking about. It was talking about women knowing what they want and, you know, going and getting after it and not letting nobody, no man tell you shit. And just, you know, just knowing what you want as a woman and not wasting no time and going to go get it. You say you want it, so go get it. I love the sentiment of the track. I'm here for the message all day, every day. I love the message. Shout out to all my women out there. And lastly, Tyler, the Creator, he killed it. I loved his verse on it, especially coming out to Igor. I feel like he brought those Igor vibes to this track, and it was amazing. Go check out my Igor review if you haven't already. I'll probably put the card up right here. That was a great project. Yeah, I love what Tyler Creator did on this song. His part was great. His verse he killed. I love his flow. I feel like he fit the track like a glove. So it was amazing. All around, everyone did the thing on this track. And definitely was a highlight for me. So amazing track. No bye fini any maya. No bye fini any maya. No bye fini any maya. Any maya fini any maya. Alright, next up we got the track Yard featuring Western. Definitely also one of my favorite tracks of this album, as you can tell. I love this song. Come through with the reggae vibes. GoldLink, come through with the reggae vibes. Man, he fit right in. Just like with Zulu Screams, he fit right in with the reggae vibe. He killed it. I love the reggae production on the song. Western did that thing on it. They're like a group from the UK that very versatile. They do like R&B, reggae shit. I like how they sounded on this song. They did great on the hook. I just love this track. I love what it was talking about. Pretty much just talking about like GoldLink throughout the whole song was rapping about like, you know, good vibes, not letting nobody kill your vibe, you know, leveling up in life, you know, excellence. You know, he's talking about just, you know, his rapping skills and being in the rap game, just things around him. He's talking about all types of shit in life, but it was just a good life track. Just talking about like, you know, getting through life day by day, not letting nobody get you down, not letting no good vibes, not letting no bad vibes into your yard. So I fuck with this track the long way. It has such an organic reggae feel that doesn't feel corny or contrived like Zulu Screams. And GoldLink fit right in. He killed the vibe. He just killed it. And the beat was crazy. The hook is so classic and so timeless. I love the vibe of this track. I just feel all around it's a whole jam. I feel like it's a great summer track, you know, with a great message. I love this track. It's just a good vibe all around. So definitely one of my favorites, but let me know what y'all think. But I love this track. Yard is a dope song. She got me like, ooh. She got me like, yeah. She got me like, ooh. Alright, next up after Yard is Spanish song. To me, this wasn't my favorite track off the album, but it was definitely cool for what it was. I think the reason why I didn't like this song as much as I wanted to was because I actually was hoping for an actual like more authentic Spanish vibe on the song. I didn't really get like I didn't really hear the Spanish guitars like that. I didn't really get the Spanish vibe from this track. But it does feel like, you know, like you're in a dance hall somewhere in some type of Spanish country, with just a bunch of people dancing around. It feels like that. And I think the like the crowd vocals, like the vocals that sound like a bunch of people in a club or a crowd, like that really made the track come alive. And it really made it sound like it really made it sound alive. So that's why I really liked it. But my only issue with this track was because this album is called Diaspora, I was hoping from some more, you know, like actual, you know, Spanish or Latino representation in terms of the sonics. Like I was hoping this song would actually be like a really like a Spanish ass song, but I didn't really get that vibe. Maybe y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but I didn't really get that vibe from the production or the vibe of the song. But it was a great vibe regardless. Like the song feels good, you know. You could do a little, you know, bachata, you know, a little salsa to it, you know, a little song. It's kind of like a hood version of like a Spanish song, but it's cool for the like. It feels like a blacker version of a Spanish song, which is a vibe. But I was hoping for a more authentic Spanish vibe. But it's still a great track. It's still a really cool track. The hook was alright to me, but like it wasn't like an advanced ass hook, but it feels good. They got me like, ooh. It feels good. It's a feel good track. It's definitely a feel good track, and I like the way everything came together. You know, it just feels like, you know, you're at a night out on the town in a Spanish club somewhere, a small club somewhere with GoldLink performing. So that's what it sounded like. So it was cool. Alright, after Spanish song, we got the track No Lie with WizKid. This is a cool track. It kind of had two different parts to it. The first part was more smooth and more slow and chilled out. Yeah, so the hook was hella vibing this track. Me not lie. I love the way it sounded, I love the way it came together. I really feel like the hook was arranged well. I love the way WizKid sounded on it. My only issue with the hook is I wish WizKid's voice didn't sound so echoey. Like to me, it sounded like really echoey. Kind of like Khalid on days like this. It sounded kind of thin, but I like the way he just sound on it. So WizKid was great for the track. He did his thing. WizKid he definitely did his thing. I think he fit perfect with this track. And I also love, like I said, I love the beat switch into the second part of the song. It really came out of nowhere for me when I first heard it. I was like, oh shit, that shit was hard as fuck. I'm like, oh, okay, beat change. That shit was hard as hell. And then the second part of the song is way more fast paced, way more in your face, is way more harder. And I like the way it sounded. And I really feel like I like GoldLink's flow on the second part, especially where I feel like he was just talking about, you know, like moving different, and like how his hood essence is like working, and how it's like mixed in with like his like newer, like, you know, celebrity, you know, artist persona. So that was a really dope verse where he just talking about that dynamic. And he also was just talking, you know, some regular, you know, gang, you know, hood talk as well, you know, regular, you know, bang shit, you know, murder, gang talk shit, you know, some fun shit. It was cool. So yeah, really great track all around. And I also love that he had BB Burley backgrounds at the end again on this track. She sounded good at the end as well. So I heard you, mama, you sounded good. But yeah, man, all around great track. Love this track. Alright, after No Lie, we got the track Tiff Freestyle, which is GoldLink just being on some radio station. It's a skit where he's at a radio station and he's spitting a freestyle. It was a dope freestyle, and you know, to a nice like piano laden beat. That piano beat was really dope as well. It was hard, and I liked how it sounded. And the freestyle was dope too by GoldLink. You know, GoldLink had a great little freestyle. I feel like it was a really chill song, really a nice little breather for the album. And I just like what he was talking about on the freestyle. And shout out to Tiff as well. I don't know who Tiff is, but shout out to Tiff. So it was a really cool track. Alright, y'all, after the track Tiff Freestyle, we got the track Rumble. I really appreciate this track. I appreciate the more like American 808 trap vibes on it. I feel like it's a good change of pace for the album, and I feel like it presents something more familiar for like the older GoldLink fans, or just for the newer fans who are just like more into the, you know, the trap sound in general. So this is a good track for them. But yeah, the beat was really hard on this track. I love the beat, and the synth was really like weird for me when I first heard it. Like, it threw me off. But once you get into it, the synth is really a vibe, and it really is a cool. It really makes the track cool. But my only issue with this track was even though I feel like I love the way like the beat and the hook was arranged, I wasn't really in love with the features on this track. I feel like the rappers Jackson Wang and Lil Nay, they weren't like bad, but I just felt like other rappers could have like murked this beat even more, and I feel like other rappers could like maximize this beat. I feel like I wasn't in love with what they did, and I feel like other rappers could have like just did a better job on this beat. So I love GoldLink giving love to some underground, you know, rappers and underground talent, but I really feel like other rappers, not even necessarily more well known, but I just feel like other rappers could have done a better job with the beat. So that's my opinion, but the track was still good regardless. So and I love the way this track came together. And shout out to them talking about recalibrating your energy, because you gotta do that. Amen. Just, you know, you gotta do that sometimes. You know, sometimes you gotta like reassess who's around you, what you're doing in your life, how you're feeling. You know, you gotta recalibrate your energy. So I really fuck with that. Amen. After Rumble, we got the final track on the album called Swoosh. This was a cool little outro for the album. It was a cool way to end the album. It was a really like, you know, lucid tone, and really like, you know, choppy but monotone flow from GoldLink, like he's always done in the past. So classic flow from GoldLink. I really love the feel of the beat, and I love like the old soul sample in the background. It was really different, change of pace for the album, but I like the way it sounded on the track. And I really like, at the end of the track, I really love like the cool like little like spoken word piece from the woman in the background, she was pretty much talking about like, you know, getting through all the BS in life and beating the odds in life at the end. So it was really cool. It was a really cool way to end off the album, you know, sentimentally too. So it was a cool track. And the album ended off like that. Alright, y'all, so that was my track by track breakdown of the album, but now for my general review of the album, my general thoughts on the album. First thing first, I wanted to say, something that made me mad is, where the fuck is Justine's interlude? I was looking forward to hearing that track. I mean, we still had it on Colors. That's where I first heard it, when GoldLink came up on Colors, I think a few months ago, and he performed Justine's interlude, which is an interlude, I guess, that was dedicated to Justine Skye, which I'm not sure if they're still dating, but that was his girl at the time. They might be still be dating, I'm not sure. So shout out to Justine Skye. She also looks amazing on this cover. I also love this album cover so much. I feel like this album cover feels like the album. It feels, you know, it feels like the African Diaspora, somewhat, with the green hue that looks so good on Justine Skye's skin. It is with the sunglasses. It gives you girl that's about to go to a pool party somewhere in the Caribbean or somewhere in Africa, and she got chocolate melanin skin, and she's ready for the day, and her baby hair is on point, the hair is on point, she got glasses, you can't see no clothes, but she had clothes on, or a bathing suit on, you know it's gonna look fire. Like, so this album cover just feels like the album. It feels like the album. So I just love this album cover. Justine Skye looks amazing on it, and I think you say whatever her name is, Hailey Bieber photographed it, so shout out to her. Amazing. I just love the album cover. It's amazing. So I just want to shout that out. But in terms of the album itself, I love this album, guys. You know, GoldLink is back in his bag with this album. I feel like what I love about this project, I just love this project because I feel like GoldLink showing that he's back in his good form on this album, with his nimble but creative flows and song ideas that just like, they only work to get vibier, and they unpack themselves with just more time and more repeated listens. So it's just I feel like this album is one that's it's just gonna get like more rewarding as time goes on. These songs like really do unpack themselves with just like the vocals, the lyrics, the vibes. Like, there's just so much on this album, and I feel like it's all just one really nice good package. So Alright, so I for one was really surprised with the global direction that GoldLink took on this album, especially as a follow-up to At What Cost, which is really just more of an American rap album with like, you know, some go-go influences. And speaking of go-go, I was hoping that we get like 1 or 2 tracks that would have represented the go-go sound on this album. So I wasn't mad that we didn't get that, because I know GoldLink still goes hard for go-go all day, every day. But I was hoping we actually would have got that. Especially since this album is called Diaspora, I was hoping, you know, for the American vibes, instead of us getting just, you know, trap and 808s, I was hoping we'd actually get the go-go sound for the American side of things. But it's cool, because I like, you know, it's cool. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I'm really surprised he took like, you know, a global direction on this album with sounds from, you know, Afrobeat, you know, Caribbean reggae sounds. You know, we got a Spanish joint. You know, we got American sounding songs. Like I'm really surprised he took that risk, but I feel like the risk really paid off, because this whole album just knocks. Really with truly a diaspora of sounds that just sound so different, but they all come together so well in one package. And it all just, you know, everything just really flows together and comes together really well. You know, GoldLink was really able to get adventurous on this album, and with someone like with a lot of other rappers that could have been terrible, and it could have totally derailed the project to be all over the place sonically. But with someone like GoldLink, I feel like, you know, it could have went bad for him too, but it worked. And I'm not surprised, because GoldLink is such a chameleon, and he's so flexible that he can really fit in on so many different flows. He can really fit in on any type of vibe. So I feel like I'm glad out of anybody this year that he took the risk of really making an album that has so many different global sounds, but he made it all come together, and he did it really well. So, you know, hats off to GoldLink for that, for sure. You know, and just speaking more on that, I'm really proud of GoldLink, because I feel like this album really showed his flexibility while also showing his unique identity and flow and artistic disposition that comes through in every track. You know, like at the end of the day, these tracks, like I said, they all sound different. They all have their own vibes, but GoldLink sounds like himself on every track, but he also was able to fit the sonic and like cultural vibe that every track was bringing at the same time. And he did, you know, he was able to fit it. He didn't make it like, it wasn't like he was a caricature of reggae, he was a caricature of Afrobeat. Like he sounded like GoldLink, and he was his own artist, and he sounded like his own vibe, but he was able to like use his artistry and use his vibe to enhance every track that was like, you know, a track that sounded like from somewhere across the globe. So just amazing. So the one issue that I could see people having with this album, and funny enough in itself, I feel like it's so intrinsically part of GoldLink's style, is the fact that there probably isn't, you could probably feel like that there isn't really much holding these songs together conceptually or thematically. Like there isn't I feel like some strong like overarching narrative that's really holding these songs together in terms of it being a project. So I feel like that's the one issue that I could see people having with this album, because they could argue that it makes the album feel like one long song with just different beats on it, or it could make it feel like the album's somewhat all over the place with what it's saying and what it's trying to, you know, or the message that it's trying to come across with, you know. So the bad part with that is that unfortunately, I could see how in the future, or at least right now going into the future, I could see how it's projects like these that could, you know, hurt GoldLink from really building a fan base, as much of a fan base as he could, because of all the features and all the stuff that's going on in this album that sometimes maybe tends to outshine his own contributions to his own album. But the good part is, because of all the sonic variation on this album, he is able to pull from so many different fan bases now, because of all the different types of vibes and songs that he presented on this album. So I feel like it depends on how you look at it. You know, like I said, you could think that, okay, maybe GoldLink is not really going to be able to secure a fan base because this album kind of feels all over the place and doesn't really have any like solid creative direction. But you also could look at it saying, you know what, GoldLink is not able to pull from many different places that I probably wouldn't have been able to pull from before, because he'll have people from Africa checking this shit out, and he'll have people from the Caribbean checking this shit out, because of the vibes that he was able to present on this album in a very organic way. So, you know, it depends. Alright y'all, so wrapping this review up, at the end of the day, you know, the diversity of songs and concepts on this album that were also different, but also like, you know, consistent and unified, to me was astounding and amazing. And I just think it's incredible that GoldLink was able to pull it off so well. But I could definitely see how some people could say inherently that you know, you do feel a lack of like clear or like resonant structure with the album, or that you're not really able to get into the overarching narrative or theme that GoldLink was really trying to like present to you, besides there being a diaspora of sounds on the album. So for me, it isn't that deep. I could definitely see how people have an issue with the album because of that. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, all in all, in the end, all these songs bang, and I feel like they're just gonna jam on forever, and they're only gonna get better with more listens. Like I said before, they're only gonna impact themselves and get better with more listens. There's so many creative beats on this album, so many creative concepts, so many creative hooks. You know, feature artists were used so well on this album, and it just flows, and I feel like it's sequenced very well too. So this album was just put together very well, and I think it was executed very well. So yeah, that's what I think. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised, and I also wouldn't underestimate how influential this album could be for future generations, especially because of the sonic variations. So this album could be a game changer, you know, for future generations. But let's see. But all in all, y'all, I think this album is amazing. For my favorite tracks for this album, even though almost every track is good, I'm gonna say my favorite tracks are probably Ting, Maniac, Zulu Screams, More, love that track. You Say, No Lie. I think those are probably my Yard. Oh, can't forget about Yard, love Yard 2, and No Lie. Those are probably my favorite tracks. But almost every track on this album is amazing. For my rating for this album, guys, I didn't want to give this album a 4.5 because I feel like it would have been a little bit too high. So I feel comfortable with a 4 out of 5. So I'm gonna give this album a 4 out of 5. I feel like that rating is good. But let me know what y'all think about that rating down below. Alright, y'all, so that was my review for GoldLink's new album, Diaspora. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my track by track breakdown of the album, and also my general review of the album. I gave y'all my rating too, but now let me know what y'all thought about the album. Comment down below what you thought about the project. Let me know if you hated it, if you thought it was alright, if you thought it was whack. Let me know what were your favorite tracks, your least favorite tracks. Just give me all your thoughts down below. I appreciate y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that. Alright, appreciate y'all. And like I always say, guys, live your best life, drink more water, stay woke, and if you're mad or sad, go listen to your favorite song and make you feel better, okay? Go listen to your favorite song. But this has been your boy Bright, the R&B Kid. Thank you for watching, but for now, I'm signing off, baby. Bye, y'all.
I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, 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 no. I came to vibe, you came to function, just do that, baby. Don't worry about nothing, no, no, no. Relax just a little bit. You don't gotta worry, you can just have fun.